Hello and welcome. Today, Thursday the 25th, very excited to be here today. How are you today? I'm on top of the world. I'm really looking forward to today's topic. So listen, today we're going to be talking all about the topic of art, and we're going to be looking at paintings, pictures, sculpture, photography, helping you build up the language and the confidence so you can talk fluently on this subject in the IELTS speaking test. Excellent, good. Are you ready to go? Ready to rock and roll? I hope so. Let's do it. Hello, my friends. How are you? Nice to see you here. Today, I decided to look a bit artistic because we're going to be talking about art, the language and the confidence to do so. I say confidence because I think a lot of people, a lot of students seem very nervous and afraid of this topic. There are some topics like art, science, technology that I think some students maybe feel nervous that they don't have much experience about it, or they're not an expert in that field. 19th century paintings, looking at Rembrandt, Velasquez, and I don't know much about art. It's not important, but I want to look at your fear and today look at, well, different things. Let me tell you what we're going to do today. First of all, right? We're going to look at art. That's the topic. I want to begin in a moment, actually, looking at the IELTS mindset, right? Hey, bit shaded, bit light. IELTS mindset about that fear and blowing away your fear. So that's what we're going to look at, right? Of course, we'll be looking at some great vocabulary to help you. We've got two guests today. Very, very happy to have both Yumiko and Mandy. If you're a member of my Facebook group, you may know these two already. You may even have had classes with them, but they'll be joining us in about 25 minutes. We'll be visiting an art exhibition. Woo! Virtual, online. Also, of course, we'll be looking at some idioms. And we'll be finishing up with that great fun game, Kahoot. Whoa, which will be really nice. But let's kick off IELTS mindset. But let's kick off first with you guys. Just let me say a quick hello to you here. Who's here? Yo-Yo Asami, hello. Welcome back. Agnes, hello there. Nice to see you. Mario Kando from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Great. Nice to see you here. Zainab from Nigeria. Few minutes to your speaking test and you're watching this. Fantastic. Listen, best of luck, Zainab. Break a leg. Do a fantastic job. I'm sure it'll go great. Sadna Limbu, good morning from England. How's the weather there today? Is it all right? Helmi, good morning. Nice to see you. And Deksha from Qatar. Brilliant. So we've got lots of people in the room from around the world. Very nice to see, right? That's lovely. So I'm going to kick off looking at IELTS mindset, right? The first thing I want to look at. Let me share with you then my thoughts on this. I think a lot of people have fear on this topic, right? Especially art, because they think or they believe maybe certain things. And I think these beliefs are not correct, right? I think they're wrong. Now, maybe you believe that you need to be an art expert, right? In order to talk about art, I need to be an art expert. Well, no, let's cross that out. Absolutely not. It is not necessary to be an art expert. It's a misbelief. It's a myth. Maybe you think, well, I need to speak like an artist, right? You know, speak like an artist. I don't know if sometimes you've been to an art gallery, right? And you've listened to an artist or maybe a guide talk about a painting, right? And they go, oh, look at this piece of art, right? Isn't it wonderful? This, right? Shows you the faint subdued lines, the subtle colours of yellow and a crisscross, a multicoloured myriad, representing the struggle of humanity against the limitations and restrictions and oppression of colours, against the darkness of the human side of civilization. And you're like, what? What? Now, I can't speak like that. I mean, great painting, but I don't think that's true. I mean, that's from my daughter in primary school, right? Now, so do you need to speak like an artist or a guide in an art gallery? No, absolutely not. You do not need to speak like that. It's not true. Do you? Maybe you need, or you believe you need to give some examples of art, right? Well, actually, I think that is absolutely true. Yes. And you're right. You do need some examples of art. You know, on these specialist subjects, it's good to have one or two examples of a piece of art or a work of art that you like or you can talk about, right? But or you do not need to be an expert. You don't need to speak like an artist, right? So I want you to take that fear, right? To take that fear and bye-bye, blow it away. And by the end of this lesson, I hope to help you feel much more confident and for that fear to disappear. Oh, I'm a poet as well, for the fear to disappear. Okay, let's jump in and have a quick look at some language here. Aloha, you are my motivational speaker. Aloha, thank you very much. Good, nice that you're motivated. Nichapan says your daughter's painting is gorgeous. I'm going to put that up so my daughter can see your comment. She'll be very happy to see that later. Great. Dear. Vishwa, someone says the cue card is only 1 minute. No, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. Now, so I'm going to make this really simple, right? I'm going to make this simple because what we're going to do today is focus on nouns and adjectives. Nouns and adjectives. And with that, we're going to create some nice language to talk about art, right? Let me take a couple of examples. Adjectives like warm, happy, inspired, right? Now, the nouns, I wonder, do you know the nouns for these adjectives? I wonder if you can tell me the nouns, right, for these adjectives. Let me see in the comments box. Vishwa, you're welcome. Mafi, your exam is on Saturday. Good luck, Mafi. Hafida from Algeria, welcome. So, any nouns? Let's see, guys. Inspiration, right? Shreya, great. Inspiration is the noun over here. So let me add that one in. Inspiration, brilliant. Dorsa. Oh, you had, well, Afifa, you've got all of them. Let's put Afifa in. Warmth, happiness, inspiration. Great. Warmth, happiness, and inspiration. Okay, I'm going to come back to these in a moment. Thank you, Afifa. That's lovely. Brilliant. Now, I'll come back. When we talk about art, right, I think there are probably 3 things we can talk about, right? You could talk about the painting, right? So when it comes to the painting, you may say, for example, for number 1, it's a painting. It's a painting of a right? It's a painting of a house, for example, right? Or there are Da, 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 da. There are some tables. There are some tables. There is a house, right? There are some stars in the sky. You can describe the painting. And that's quite simple. You can use simple language or complex language. You can also talk about not the painting, but the feeling and your feelings, right? So maybe, right, for feelings, you could say quite simply, it makes me feel It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel over the moon. It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel warm. Aha. For example, right? There's an example. It makes me feel warm. For example, makes me feel happy. Whoops. Help. There we go. There are some tables. Let's just fill this in with examples. Examples are always easier, right? A house, for example. It makes me feel warm, or it gives me a feeling of, and then put the noun. So warm is the adjective, or it gives me a feeling of the noun, remember? Warmth, right? Warmth. It gives me a feeling of warmth. Warmth. So we're going to put, I'll just make it clear that you can use that. It makes me feel with the adjective, it makes me feel warm. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel inspired. Remember, we had different words up here. It makes me feel content, or it makes me feel confused, maybe, right? Or, you know, it gives me a feeling of confusion. It gives me a feeling of inspiration. You can talk about your feeling. You could possibly talk about the artist, but this is difficult because you may not know the name of the artist or any famous artists, and you don't have to. There are different ways of doing this, right? Let me give you 2 examples of this, right? Number 3, talking about the artist. If we take a painting, let me take, I wonder if I can show you this painting. I wonder if you know this one. Some of you will know this. If I show you this on the website, I haven't got the picture, but it's here. Now, some of you may know this. Right? This is a painting by Pablo Picasso. It's called the Guernica, right? And I'm not sure when it was painted, right? I don't remember, but I can find out. You can go on the internet, of course, and find out these things. When was the Guernica painted? 1937. Right, okay. So I could give my answer, right? Possibly I could go in and I could say, I like one painting called, it's called Guernica, and it's by Picasso, and it was painted in 1937, right? Okay, let's go down. That's one possible answer. But notice, even me, as a native speaker, I had to go on the internet to find the information, right? I didn't know much about it. Let's look at a different answer, right? Something like this. I like one painting. And so we're talking about this one, right? We're talking about this particular painting. If you can see it, it's quite amazing, actually. It's got some chopped up bodies, basically. So I like one painting that has chopped up bodies. I'm not sure who it's by, or I'm not sure who it was painted by, let's say. Who it was painted by, nor when, but it gives me a feeling of sadness, right? Just let me take that up for you. Let me change the color here. This should be black. Okay, so we've got two different answers, right? Which one do you think will get the higher score? Which one will get you a higher score in IELTS speaking? Not the first one, the second one, right? The second one is better. The second one is better because the range of language, the vocabulary, the range of grammar is much wider than the first one. And also because IELTS speaking, right? Remember, IELTS speaking is not a test of knowledge about art, right? The examiner's not checking Guernica 1937. Oh, yes, good. No, they're listening to the range of vocabulary and language. And just look at the second answer, right? You've got, I like one painting that has, well, chopped up bodies. So you're describing the picture. I'm not sure who you're giving then an indirect question. I'm not sure who it was painted by. You're showing nor, neither, nor. It gives me a feeling of, and some nice nouns here. So the language is just much better. The first answer is okay, right? That's fine. And if you love art and you know about the painter and you know the names in English, great. But if not, it doesn't matter, right? If you don't know that information, it doesn't matter. Remember the fear? Remember the fear? Just bye-bye. No fear, right? You can just talk about the painting, the feeling, different languages, even say, I'm not sure who it was painted by. I don't remember when. I don't even know what it is about. But it gives me a feeling of sadness. And that's it. Dead easy, I think. So that's my advice, right? Don't worry too much. Don't sweat the small stuff, as we say. Right, good. One moment. That was too quiet. Do it again. Okay. Now, in a few minutes, we're going to bring in our guests. But first of all, before we do that, let me just switch for a moment. So I've talked about IELTS mindset, right? We talked here a little bit about vocabulary. I want to talk a bit more some basic vocabulary. And what we're going to talk about with art. Just before I do, let me have a look how you're doing. Nice. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Guys, you're really good. I need to make it bigger. Right, okay. Some nice ideas, right? Ezra says, it gives me a feeling of complexity of life and clashing of ideas. Wow. Very, very nice. Just notice, right? It gives me a feeling. Yeah, it gives me a feeling. Very nice. Good. Brilliant. Any others? Great. Now, some basic essential vocabulary. IELTS vocabulary art. So just to be clear, right? When we talk about art, art can include just about anything, right? We do talk about the performing arts, dance, music, film, theatre, drama. All of these are performing arts. So when you watch a guitarist on stage or a pianist, that's art, right? You watch ballet or even hip hop, dance, that's art as well. Film is art. So you'll notice, actually, if you've prepared some language to talk about your favorite film or your favorite book or a play you've seen, this is also art. You can be using this language as well. Yeah. We then talk more about visual arts. So if your question is about an art exhibition, then really we're looking at the visual arts, what we call visual arts. And visual arts include painting, like my daughter's painting. You can see I'm a proud dad, right? Plugging my daughter's work. Drawing, so without colour. Sculpture, right? And if you're not sure what sculpture is, Google is going to show you. Let's have a look. These are different kinds of sculpture, right? So made of different materials, maybe marble, stone, brass, metal, different kinds of culture. Okay. We've also got photography, right? So again, if you've prepared language to talk about photographs, photography, that could be in an art exhibition. And graffiti. If you're familiar with graffiti, if you're not, then let me show you a bit of graffiti. Sometimes it's called street painting, right? Different kinds of graffiti. There's lots of famous graffiti artists in different countries who decorate the public spaces. Some people hate it, some people love it. Either way, it really is recognized as an art, right? Easy graffiti art, cool graffiti art. So there are different kinds of graffiti. Wow, look at these. I mean, man, those are so cool, right? So that also is a kind of art, graffiti. Okay. Just to note, right, when we come and talk about art, art is uncountable. But if you want to make it countable, you must say a work of art or a piece of art. A work of art, a piece of art. Notice the pronunciation that of becomes of. And I would link a work of art. A work of art. It's not f, it's v. A work of art. A piece of art. A piece of art. Right? Same again. Can you say that? A piece of art. A work of art. It's a great work of art. Nice. The person, of course, is an artist. And we've got artistic, which is an adjective. So normally we talk about people being artistic. You know, you could say hello, my daughter is artistic, right? She's good at painting. I'm quite artistic, right? I enjoy drawing and painting. We have another adjective, which is arty, but arty is used a bit negatively. You know, when you say somebody's arty, it doesn't mean that you respect them and like their work. It means that you think they're not scientific enough, right? They should be more organized, systematic and scientific, but they're all arty, right? So it's a negative kind of word, but the same meaning. Arty. Great. Emma says Keith is absolutely artistic. Really? MP is an artist. Brilliant. Brilliant. Good for you. Nice. A question from the Life and Dimension. Love your name. What is a piece of art? So a piece of art is one picture, right? It could be one picture, one painting, one sculpture, right? So as I showed you over on the website, right, this one over here is a piece of art. That is a piece of art. And there are many pieces of art. Yeah. Excellent. Good. Brilliant. This is a nice expression. I'm not an artistically inclined person. Nice. That's a higher level. Really nice to be artistically inclined. Let's add that to our list. I think that's really nice. I am not at all. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, V, I'm going to take you off, but thank you for that. Whoops. I am not at all artistically inclined. Yeah, lovely. I'm not at all artistically inclined. Nice. Good. So this is very basic vocabulary. There's more to come, but I'm going to cut things up. I'm going to chop things up, move things around. We're going to talk more about vocabulary, but first of all, I'd like now to bring in our very, very lovely and welcome guests, Yumiko and Mandy. Give me a moment because I just need to connect with them on Skype, and we're going to be having a conversation, right? We're going to be talking about art. We're going to ask each other different questions about art, like you might get in IELTS, and just pick out some of the interesting language that might be useful for you. Okay, so bear with me. Let me go and find them. I wonder if they're there. Oh, they were in and they left. Bear with me, my friends. Ah. Hello. Hi, guys.
Hello, Kitty.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Now, you're not on the screen yet. You're just audio, but I'm going to drag you in one by one. Drag's probably not the right word, but let's see. So hopefully... Now, I need to get you all in together. Okay, wait. Bear with me.
Oh.
You're coming in one by one. Why are you coming in one by one? Okay, let me try this way. Aha. And this way? Now that's strange. Can you see us? How strange is that? Very strange. Give me a moment.
I can see the three of us.
I can see the three of us, and it's very, very strange though.
Why? On the screen. Hello, everybody. I'm not sure that these people can hear us.
I think they can hear us. Yes, there's some comments.
Oh, really?
Nice to meet you.
Hello,
nice to see you.
Hello, Yuko.
Well, listen,
Hello, Emma.
Given today's an artistic day, let's leave it like that. It's kind of an artistic collage of the way we are. Is that okay?
I don't mind it.
I'm going to put up your names, right? So you...
Please take your time.
Hang on a minute. Yes.
Oh.
That's right. Mandy's there. Can you see yourselves, Mandy and Yumiko, on the YouTube?
Unfortunately, yes, I can.
Unfortunately. Right, brilliant, good. We're in. And from the comments, I can see, it sounds like people can see you as well.
Should I go a little bit move to here?
Great, we've got a few hellos.
Not straight.
Ebenezer says hi. Narima says hi.
Hello, Catherine. And the names are going too fast.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, it's really quick.
Far too quick.
Too quick to read.
Never mind. So, let's kick off. I mean, as I said, we're going to just kind of talk in a very conversational way, maybe ask a few different questions. Any of us can ask the question, any of us can answer. And as we're talking, I'll try and pick out some language, but do also yourselves suggest any interesting language you think students might like. Okay.
And Yumiko, someone is asking if you can shift to the right. I think
To right? Is that I'm not
says
sure
you're
it's the
off
mirror
screen.
side?
Yeah, because you're center. Move the other way, the other direction.
This way.
Yes.
Other way.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's better. Yeah. Both
Okay.
girls are so cute in smile. Oh.
Oh, thank you. Recently, I've not yet been called the girls. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. This is a nice class with nice teachers. Oh, lovely. They're all going, no, the opposite direction. To your left, not your right. Because your left is their right.
That's why I kind of moved to the other way.
Ravi
Thank you
says now
everybody
it's
for
good.
helping me.
I guess, well, before we begin, would each of you just like to say a few words about who you are, where you're from? Tell us a little bit about you. Maybe Yumiko, do you want to kick off?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very happy to introduce myself. Hello everybody, originally I'm from Japan, but at the moment I have been living in Australia for about more than 8 years actually, and then now I'm running a business with Mandy to teach English, to provide English lessons mainly for IELTS speaking and writing. My camera is not there here, I'm sorry. Yes. So also it's that September or August. I think we asked the kids to possibly if we could hold the group lesson for anybody, and then we've started and has passed not less than half a year. Yeah, something like that.
It has flown by.
Flown by.
Yeah.
And you have a website up and running. You do classes. I'll just put, I think I've got the website up here. There you go. It's myenglish.life, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to find out more about these guys, you can. Brilliant. Thank you, Yumiko. Mandy, tell us about you.
I'm Mandy. I live in Florida in the United States. So that's why I look tired, because it's 5:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, Yumiko, I started tutoring online, and Yumiko asked me if I wanted to work with her, and it's been fun ever since. So I'm excited that she asked me, and I said yeah.
Fantastic. Now I've just noticed how you pronounce her name, so I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. So it's Yumiko.
So, sorry, firstly, how did you call me? I didn't realize that.
I said Yumiko.
Yumiko, and I say Yumiko. Yumiko. What did I say? I think I said it with a different stress.
Yeah, when we are speaking Japanese, actually we don't care about the stress point, honestly.
Good.
And I think I'm living in Australia, and many Australian firstly tends to call me Miko, a bit long.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
But my parents, I think, called just me Yumiko. Very,
right.
No intonation, the really straight pointing sound.
So, Yumiko, are you an art fan?
Should I answer the question? I don't think so.
That's why I asked you.
I'm not good at that. Any kind of thinking about something artistic or possibly crafting or creating something new. Even though my daughter loves that, and it was amazing, like for her to concentrate on the just for one thing to finish in 1 or 2 hours. And oh, really? I couldn't do that when I was young, 6 or 7 years. So, yeah, like IELTS question part 1 or part 3, yeah, I don't know how to say that. But about myself, I think I can't say it. I have to admit I'm not good at that. Not skilled. Sorry.
Right. Interesting. And Mandy, do you like art?
Yeah, I was watching your live feed before you let us come in, and you talked about the different kinds of art, and I was thinking, well, gosh, I used to be a photographer, so yeah, I do like art. So I have an appreciation of art, but do I am I an art aficionado? No way. But like Yumiko said, I do have one of my 3 children is really interested in art, so I've learned to appreciate it again in a new light. From a child's perspective. So yeah. But she's
Fantastic.
not a traditional art. It is clay and sculpting and mixed media, all kinds of different things. Any kind of what I would consider trash has become art in our house.
Like putting the old toilet papers and plastic bottles into a nice bridge, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think she made a flamingo mixed with an ostrich recently. So
Fantastic. Sounds very familiar. It's interesting. You said some interesting things there, both of you. And if you don't mind me taking just a second, I'm going to put this up on the blackboard, for the students for a moment. Yumiko talked about I like crafting something new, or making or inventing something new. Crafting is a nice word, right? To craft something, or to make something, or invent, I think you said as well. And I liked the expression you said, I have to admit I'm not an artist, or I have to admit I'm not a big fan. It's a nice expression to use as well. I have to admit I am not da-da-da. And Mandy said I have an appreciation of art. So to appreciate art is to, well, I guess to like it in a way, and to really enjoy looking at it, or maybe doing it. And this word, an art aficionado, which it's a Spanish word, but it's one of those words we've stolen into English. And if I'm right, and tell me if I'm wrong, you guys, but I think it kind of means an amateur, right? Not a professional, but an amateur. And then finding mixed media, that Mandy was talking about, mixed media for where you mix different mediums in art. So maybe typically you have paint and paper, but if you have clay and paint and paper all together, you can have mixed media, different sources of art. Nice. More questions? Any questions? Let me have a look. I am curious, because I know a lot of people, when they talk about art exhibitions, some people say that I've never been to an art exhibition. Yumiko, have you ever been to an art exhibition?
Think so, but I think when I was a junior high school student or something. But I can't talk about that story. But actually, that story was not mainly about the museum art gallery, like mainly family story. So in that case, I think I already, before tagging, I understand probably that story will be going a bit wrong way.
Right.
And if that part 2, I'm not sure how much they think that could mind it. But usually, in part 2, they don't stop before 2 minutes. So probably I try to just keep talking and talking. But
you're in Australia. Have you been to an art exhibition recently in Australia? Do they have any?
No, don't think so. But museum, due to COVID-19, and I think that we are not. Still, I think we are not allowed to enter there, unfortunately.
Right. So we have to wait. Mandy, what about you? Have you been to any?
I used to live in Maryland, which is next to Washington, D.C., and they have a large amount of museums, and they're all free and open to the public, so it's a tourist attraction. So yeah, I have been to the Natural History Museum and the Museum of, I think it has art in it somewhere, but that was as a child on a field trip, so it's too long ago for me to remember. But besides that, I have been used some VR goggles to visit something virtually. If anyone has tried that before, I think I could look. And then, like Yumiko and I both said, we both have daughters. One of my daughter's school had an art exhibition in a shopping mall where each school picked a few students, and my daughter was chosen. And so I got to go through and see art. So it's not an art gallery like you would think traditionally, where there's famous artists, but these are, kids who were chosen in their own school, just different kinds of topics. So yeah, that was my experience with an art museum in a mall.
Right. It's interesting, right? Because I think when people ask about art exhibitions, often we think about museums. And I guess, what do you think? I mean, would you talk about a museum in IELTS if they ask about an art exhibition? I guess you could, right? I mean, you could see it from an artist's perspective.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that you could look at, but not everyone has the ability to go to an art museum. I know there's a town that we visit in North Carolina, and they have, or actually I visited New York City before. They have street art where it's some kind of sculptures, and every few blocks that you walk, there's another piece by another artist, and then they have a large area that's lots of different globes. It's kind of interactive art where you can be around it and touch it, like an art museum where you're not supposed to touch anything and you need to stay back. This is more interactive. You can walk around it, touch it, look at it, and it's kind of up to you to figure out what the interpretation is and what's going on. So I kind of like that.
That's nice. I was reading the other day about a fairly new art exhibition in Tokyo, actually, which was it's a new digital art exhibition, and the whole art is digital, and it's quite interactive, so that you can actually touch the painting, and as you touch the painting, it leaves a digital trace, so you can create and kind of craft the painting as you're there, and it's 100% digital. It's absolutely fascinating. I'll later share the link. There's a YouTube video about it. They do a report about it. It's really interesting. Again, nice to talk about.
Yeah, and some of your students are saying that they've never been to an art museum or exhibition. But I think now, since we're kind of all either stuck or encouraged to stay home, I've noticed that these art galleries and places that used to be public are encouraging people to come and view them virtually as well.
Yeah.
So that could be another way.
Absolutely. I was, later I'm going to share one actually. I went on a couple of virtual tours last night of 2 different museums, and they were art galleries within a museum. And you can, if you can get on the internet, you can access virtual exhibitions. And then you've got your example, right? Because all you need is one example to be able to talk about. So yeah, I think that's really a good point. Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments. Somebody talked about the Fringe Festival. Mel says, does the Fringe Festival count? Absolutely. I think there's lots of art there. In Brisbane, there's a Bauhaus exhibition, Brisbane, Australia, also. Interesting. So some good ideas. Again, I'll just share them on the screen with everybody. We've got, so you could talk about museums if the focus is on art, I think. Interactive art, there's a lot of museums that do have interactive art as well. Art festivals is another thing where you may experience art. Maybe they have an exhibition once a year and you go to the festival. The VR goggles is what Mandy was talking about. You can wear these virtual reality goggles and visit a gallery virtually. And those are quite fun as well, actually. You can even visit them without the VR goggles, as I will show you later. I love the idea of the school art exhibition, because even if you've never been to an art gallery, if you do have children, I guarantee in most primary schools, even if it's not an exhibition, they put the kids' paintings on the wall and you can talk about it as though it's an exhibition. Absolutely valid. I think that's really good. And street art, as Mandy said, having different pieces of art in the street you could talk about. You've got the painters on the street who do your caricature or do your profile paintings. You could, embellish and adapt a little bit to be able to talk about art, I think. Very interesting, very interesting. Is there any kind of art, I mean, Yumiko, any kind of art that you like, any style of art that you prefer?
There's some picture or photo I will have to keep at home is usually scenic view. future rather than very abstract, strong, passionate one. Because I'd like to put something to make me a bit more calm. So one of them is, I think, not so, pricey one, but sunset, just before sunset, and sunshine be reflecting on the, lavender, any field. I'm not sure which country it is, but, these things, or green plain, size 1 meter, 70 cents or something like that in the bedroom. So I don't know why, but yeah, I tend to put these more natural things at home, I think.
Fascinating, interesting. And Mandy, what about you?
As far as art it always seems to change for me what I'm interested in. I like, some photographers' art. I've always liked Ansel Adams, who's very iconic black and white photographs of, I think he does mostly trees, nature scenery. But recently I've really enjoyed reading and seeing the artist Banksy. I think he's a graffiti artist.
Yeah.
So
yeah, British
he,
one.
I think you guys talked about graffiti a little bit as well. And I was reading about his latest piece that sold for quite a bit of money to benefit the frontline workers, or to honor the frontline workers during the pandemic. So yeah, it's very, very I like a large variety of art. So.
Fantastic. Nice. Graffiti as well. Do you have much graffiti in Florida?
It depends on what area you go to. Yeah, more of a downtown area. I live in a historic area, so they're very particular about the streets being clean and the art being on purpose, not illegal.
Yeah. Well, that's a really big debate in the UK. I mean, I think when Banksy started his paintings, that it became much more accepted as legal art spaces. But in many places, it's seen as illegal and a stigma, really a negative thing, because you take a public place and cover it in a painting. Maybe people don't want to see that. So there's still a lot of debate about it in the UK.
Where I lived before, we were very close to Baltimore City, and there are a lot of murals on old buildings that are on purpose, but there is a lot of graffiti. There is actually a place called Graffiti Warehouse where people just continually paint over, the latest graffiti. Lots of graffiti on overpasses and all different kinds of, people expressing themselves on trains everywhere.
I like that. People expressing themselves on trains.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. I just picked out some interesting things there. Yumiko, you talked about scenic views. So do you like the scenic view? Because it makes you feel calm. It makes me feel calm, which is nice. I should make this a bit bigger. And I thought it's interesting that Mandy said that instead of saying I like, because we often say I like this, I like that, she said I've always liked something, something, something. I've always liked this, or I've always liked that, which is nice. It's a nice alternative to I like, assuming it's not just now, but for a long time you have liked it. It's an interesting tense to use as well. I've always liked scenic views, for example. Very, very nice. Guys, as you're watching this, I mean, the students, if you have any questions about that, please do put them in the comments. I don't get to see all the comments. I just get a selection through this software. But if you've got any questions, put them up there, and we will try and answer them. So we've talked about art exhibition. While we're waiting for another question, a quick question. Another kind of big debate in the UK is art in education, because a lot of schools now have taken art out of the curriculum. It's not seen as important. What's your take? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I understand kind of many parents tend to choose the more, science, chemistry, or physics, or mathematics, to enroll the possibly better university or further education. But, at school, if we couldn't have enough opportunity to learn arts, we can learn about that, honestly. And then not sure the the world trend to be happened from now on, but at least in Japan, already the Japanese educational scheme probably has already declared this to some extent the amount of the class time for arts. So honestly, I wish they won't reduce the time for arts anymore. I remember I kind of love music, in primary school, junior high school, and then high school I wanted to choose both arts and music, but unfortunately I had to choose either. And that was, I don't want to say my age, but more than 20 years ago. So already it happened that. So a bit worried about the current situation.
But was that at secondary school?
Yeah.
Or primary school?
Yes.
Secondary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And Mandy, what about you?
Yeah, this is interesting to me. One of my, of course, I have children, and not everyone has children, but I used to be a teacher in kindergarten, and we would use art all the time. So I feel like at that age and even older, it's hard to separate those kinds of things. So I think it's unnecessary to separate art from science and art from math. I think it's better to marry those two things together. My daughter just had a math project, and I really appreciated what her teacher did. Is she had them do I'm gonna show you how little math I know. She had them plot a line on a grid. I think she's in algebra, but instead of just plotting the line, they had to add some Angry Birds from the game Angry Birds to it. And I will tell you, she spent the majority of the time not doing the mathematical equation, but creating the scene, the art scene behind it. And I have not seen her so excited about math until her teacher paired it with art. And so I think that's important to speak to the different kinds of learners that are out there. And like I said, they don't have to be separated. Science doesn't have to just be experiments. There can be an artistic component of it as well. And that's just my personal opinion, though.
Right.
Yeah. But unfortunately, when budgets get cut, art is usually one of the first things to go.
Yes. Yeah, very, very true. In many countries in the world, I think it's true. Yes. Some interesting metaphors there. I think there were metaphors. The first one was about...
Accidental.
Yeah. You said it's better to marry art and science, right? To marry, to put together. Really nice. It's better to marry art and science. The other one was maybe less metaphoric, to pair them. So to pair art with math, to put them together or to connect them. So I think both of these really mean to connect. And I totally agree, to connect. I would go a step further. I actually think all subjects should be connected. I think it's probably a mistake to separate all of the subjects we teach. Great. Some questions have come up.
So I can answer. Madonna is asking, is graffiti, she said, is graffiti. So we'll say, are graffiti and murals the same? And in my opinion, I would say no. I would say a mural is typically something that has been commissioned, or, someone has been paid to create a mural, or they have chosen to do a mural in an area that has been designated for it. Graffiti typically is, on the fly. It's done usually in secret so that you're not caught. And then they're typically, like we talked about, illegal. So, but you can, I think, commission an artist to do a graffiti mural, and then is it still called graffiti? Technically, yeah.
Yeah. Great. Brilliant. Can I just put that up? Because some people may not know the difference. A piece of graffiti or graffiti and a mural. So interesting, a wall painting. So graffiti is a wall painting done on the fly. Great. Not literally flying. Mandy and her metaphors again. Brilliant.
Sorry.
Idiomatic language. Really good. on the fly is kind of without planning, basically, I think. And a mural is a wall painting, but commissioned. So commissioned is where somebody pays you to do that. I think that's a good definition. Yeah, nice. Yumiko, would you like to choose a question? There's a lot of questions there for you.
Kind of found, I'm sorry, some of them unfortunately a bit hard to understand when I spoke English. Probably I try to speak English a bit more slowly and clearly. Sorry.
Good. Any questions you'd like to answer?
I think someone asked if Yumiko, what kind of art you liked, or did you like abstract art? Yeah.
You know, in my mind, unfortunately, I don't have the, you know, genre of that, you know, abstract or just scenic or, you know, any picture to illustrate a person. Unfortunately, I don't have the good specific vocabulary about that. So that is why it's a bit hard for me to say, I love this one, you know.
Right.
So, as I mentioned, yeah.
Somebody asked... Sorry, go ahead, Mandy.
I was just wondering if Yumiko is the kind of person like me. When you see it, you like it, and that's what you like it. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a specific genre. So yeah.
It's a great point, and I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter if you don't know the words like surreal or abstract or modern. You can just say, you can describe what's in the picture. You say, well, it's a picture of a samurai knight killing another person. Stereotyping there, the Japanese ancient, because somebody talked about ancient Japanese art, and then your feeling, describe your feeling, how it makes you feel. Ancient Japanese art, what about that? Do you like the ancient Japanese art?
I remember, you know, just after migrating to Australia, some local Australian kind of present me any note or clothes, kind of anything with ancient Japanese picture. But actually, I was reluctant to wear so ancient style of my clothes or not. The present was kind of making me very happy. So still, I keep it in my room. But personally, actually, I don't put the picture at my home, honestly. But and also, it's really hard for, I think, that the current Japanese to draw. So also I never try to draw this picture at home or at home anywhere, honestly.
Right. Interesting. Yes, it's a very distinct style, I guess. Brilliant. Great. Listen, we're gonna wind up in a minute or two. Any final thoughts or ideas on this topic, or tips or ideas for students from either of you?
I really liked. I didn't catch their name, but one of your students said that I think they're from India, and they wanted to know if like tapestry or fabric could be considered art. Yeah. You know how when you kind of weave. Textiles, what they're saying. Textile art is famous in their place or their area, their hometown. Yeah. And I saw before we came in, someone said that their husband is a cake decorator, and that is also an artist. Yes. You know, there are so many different types of art, and that's my biggest tip is you don't have to think on this huge, enormous scale about art. You can think about it, you know, do you see it in magazines? Do you see it on billboards? You probably see it in all kinds of graphics every day. So everything that you see visually has an artist behind it. It's just different kinds of art.
Yeah, totally agree. Especially the textile art. I think that is a recognized form of art as well.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely.
But you can always explain your perception that you see something as art, and that's fine. Yeah, great. Any last words, Yumiko?
Thanks for having us.
About art, any advice for our students? You know, as Chris mentioned, this is language test if you take IELTS. So that is why we don't need to be expert or professional about arts. But probably important thing is how we can or how much we can express how we feel about the arts or works, or we went there and what kind of place that was, and with who, and when and why, these things. So I think we can train ourselves in our daily life.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't need to focus on just only art or museum, and if you can find some arts in your home or school, probably you can get some or many ideas probably around us.
Yeah, totally
So
agree. Fantastic. That's great. Brilliant. Well, listen, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Really interesting. Some great language, great tips. And I hope for a lot of people that's kind of opened up their minds on the number of different things they can talk about. It doesn't have to be classic 18th century art. It can be anything. Great. Thank you very much. I'm going to usher you out of the room, and then with the rest of the guys, we're going to carry on. We're going to do a bit more studying and have a bit more fun.
Yeah, enjoy. Thank you for having us.
Not at all. Thank you very much, both of you. Take care, both of you.
Bye.
Muchas
Cheers.
gracias, Kate.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, muchas gracias.
De nada, de
Goodbye,
nada.
everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Great. Now, guys, just let me, I'm just going to hang up on the room. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Great. So that was Yumiko and Mandy. You can find out more about them at My English Life. They're also very active in the Facebook group that I have going. So go and check them out. A lot going on, some really nice advice there. If you're interested in the Facebook group, come and join us. It's a Keys Mastermind community for IELTS speaking. Brilliant. Let me just close up. Thank you very much for your questions as well, as you've been watching them. Some really good questions, some interesting things as well. Nice. Let's turn this off. And through my artistic jar or cup, I'm just going to have a drink. Bum. Brilliant. So we've seen our guests there, Yumiko or Yumiko and Mandy. We're going to move on. Our next activity actually is, as some of you said, that you haven't visited an art exhibition. There are a lot of art exhibitions online. I'm going to show you one right now, and I will share the link later in the notes. But we're going to go in together, and I want you to imagine that we are talking together about the art we see. And in the comments, just write down what you think and what you see as we go around the exhibition. And then at the end, you can take these examples and you can use them as your examples in the IELTS test, right? You can say, oh yes, I went with a friend. I went with my friend Keith to this virtual exhibition and we saw blah, 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 blah. Right? Okay, good. So let me get us in gear. Brilliant. We're going to go and visit this this tour. So give me a moment. The tour is quite quick. It'll just last about 5 to 10 minutes, but I think you will like it. So you're going to lose me, or maybe I could be kind of in the side screen over here. I can be down here. You can have a little me in the corner. Okay, so we're going to go in. This is a live exhibition. It's a virtual tour. Let's go in. Let's go in through the front door and into the reception area. Okay. Now this, you can see as we walk in, there's different pieces of art on the wall. This is where we've just come in. This is the reception area, actually. And in a moment, we'll go to different areas. But just have a look at these pictures on the wall, right? They're kind of black and white. If I can go in a bit closer. And over here, you've got Australia. Right. What do you think of these pictures? Look at that. Here we've got a swan. And over here, different animals. Priscilla says, hi, I came back. So what are you feeling? Shakun says, seems like modern art. Right, right. Sergey says, those drawings look impressive with an S. Yeah. And drawings is a good word, right? Because they are kind of black and white. They are mostly black and white. That's a good word. Ch Sanjan, I think. I see a koala on a tree. It's so cute. Nice. Very, very good. Amazing says it's very detailed. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful portraits. Now that's a really good point, Manjinder. I'm not sure if these are all portraits because, well, as we will look at in a moment, right? A portrait is the face. So a portrait is just the face of somebody. So some of these are portraits, but not all of them. But I'm going to come back to that later. Very, very interesting. Christina says they are abstract paintings. They are quite abstract, yes. Such lovely art. Nice. Remember, art is uncountable, right? So we have to say such lovely art. Very nice. Yeah. 304. Such a lovely baby you have. Very nice. So let's go back out a bit. Let's go and have a look around this this area. Let's go into the back room over here. Whoa. Now then, we've got a bit of colour here. What do you think of these paintings? And let me just move around the room a bit. What do you think of this room? Look at that. You've got handprints on the ceiling. Wow, what do you think of these? These are a little bit different, aren't they? But very interesting. We can go a little bit closer to these two. Ooh. What do you think of these? Got interesting style. Great. Bads says beautiful work of art. Nice. This is interesting. I think these pieces recompile the traditional life of Australia. You might be right, Romani. There seems to be an Australian theme in quite a lot of them. Salim says, I can see much geometric art inside of them. Yeah. Again, remember art, because it's uncountable, you have to put it in the singular here. Very nice. Bruce says it looks like, again, art. It's got to be uncountable unless you say piece. It looks like art with hidden meanings. Absolutely. Yuan Xuan says the animals in painting look so adorable. Brilliant. They are doodles. Well, I think the doodles are kind of drawings. I think possibly you could possibly call these doodles. Oh, excuse me. This could possibly be a doodle. It's kind of a doodle by hand, like a drawing. So we've got, what else have we got? The others are black and white drawings. I think they are a bit odd. Yeah, a bit strange or a bit odd. But I must say they are very detailed. Yes. Brilliant. So black and white drawings and detailed, but nice. Very, very nice. Let's move around as we're going through. We're going to go through to this other room. Sid says, it says is that all animals are connected by heart. Maybe. Nice. Very nice. Oh, we're back out in the main entrance again. I wonder if we can just nip upstairs very quickly. Let's go upstairs. Have a look at what's happening up here. Whoa. What about these? They're all a similar style, right? What's up in this room? Ah, we have a video room. Hello, what's on the video? Shall we watch the video? Let's just see what's happening over here. This is very calming, isn't it? So it's a very relaxing piece of music and some great imagery. So even this kind of film is a kind of art, showing nature, marrying sound and visuals together, pairing the sound of the sea together with the colourful landscape and imaginative animals flying in the air. Before we all fall asleep, I'm going to bring us back out of the room. I'm afraid that we will fall asleep. Let's run away. And we're going to come out. How do we get out? I want to leave. Thank you very much, Miss Receptionist. We'll come back and see you soon. Thank you very much. That's it. Guys, I'm going to close this now. And bring us back to here. Whoa. Wasn't that relaxing? So now you have visited an art exhibition, right? You can talk about that in your IELTS and take some of the lovely language that came up. I will put the link in the video, so when the YouTube video finishes, it's recorded on YouTube. You can go back and get the link to the tour. There's lots of them. If you look for virtual art exhibition in Google, you can find a few. But that was nice. Good. Okay, I hope that helped you. Yeah, don't disturb me, I'm sleeping. Great, very smoothing, nice environment. Very, very nice. Good. Okay, so let me move on and just touch a couple of words that came up, right? Because these words were used, and I'd just like to clarify a couple of things. Okay, let me look at these words. Where are you? Come over here. So portraits and self-portraits, right? So a portrait is a picture of your face. Self-portrait is where you painted your own face. A landscape is what Yumiko was talking about, is a scenic view. So a view of the mountains, the rivers, the trees, the fields. That's a landscape, right? Or if it's a view of the sea and boats on the sea, it's called a seascape, right? Landscape, seascape. And then you've got a still life painting. So another very common form of painting. Still life is the painting of, for example, fruit. So things that don't move, bottles, plates, anything that is fixed and doesn't move is a still life painting, right? So given that, can you tell me what are these pieces of art? Write down in the comment what kind. So not the artist, not the name, but what kind of art? Is it landscape, portrait, etc., etc.? Just put down the numbers and let me know. And while you're doing that, a couple of questions came up from a Facebook user. We had, what's the difference between sculpt and sculpture? Very good question. Sculpt is the verb. I like to sculpt is a verb. Sculpture is the noun, is the thing, a sculpture. I look like an artist today. I try my best. You are very artistic. I am artistically inclined, I think, a little bit. Right, I'm going to come in with an answer. Somebody has got all of them here. Nitin, if you'll join us. It looks like you don't want to join us. Oh, it's not letting me join. Okay. Number 1, landscape. Great. Raria, brilliant. Landscape. Number 3. Oh, come on. No, it's not having it. It's not working. Doesn't want to work. Okay, number 4, still life. Absolutely. Good. Number 2 is not a portrait. Number 2, anybody? Yeah, Shreya. Number 2 is a seascape. If you look closely, it's a ship on the sea. That's a seascape. Number 1, landscape. Number 3, portrait. Yep. And number 4 is still life, right? We call it still life, not still art, but as Artyom said, still life. Okay, fantastic. Very, very good, right? So that's it. Portraits, landscape, seascape, still life, painting, different kinds of paintings. Good. Excellent. That's nice. Let's move on. What's coming up next? I think I know what's coming up next. Coming up next is this one. We've visited the art exhibition. After that, we're going to move on to idioms. Hooray! Everybody likes idioms. We're going to take a couple of minutes to share some idioms with you. If you have any, then do share them in the comments. Now, these are idioms that we use to talk about art. So I'm only including idioms that help you talk about art, right? And not idioms that use art words, but which we can talk about art. So here we have some examples. Can I make this a bit bigger? That looks a bit small to me. Yeah. Okay, the first one is not quite right. Let me take that one off. I'm going to use these. I'll put that one down here. So first of all, I was bowled over by this piece of art, right? Remember we talked about piece of art to make it countable, piece of art. Bowled over means impressed. Wow. Wow, really impressed. I was bowled over by that video in the virtual art exhibition, right? So that just means impressed. Very impressed, let's say. Really impressed. Really impressed. I was bowled over. Or it took my breath away. Doesn't literally take your breath away, but it took my breath away also means very impressive. I was impressed, or it was impressive. Okay, so notice that we say impressed. Oops. Hang on. Oh no, help, come back. Yeah, impressed to talk about how you feel, the feeling that you have, but the impressive is the active impact. It was impressive. The painting was impressive. I felt impressed. There was a lot of buzz about this painting. A lot of buzz is literally buzz, but buzz means excitement here. There was a lot of buzz or excitement. Excitement. Or we sometimes say hype. There's a lot of excitement and hype, a lot of buzz about this painting. For example, the Mona Lisa. Everybody says, you must go to see the Mona Lisa. It's so famous. It's so beautiful. It's really nice. But it left me cold. Like no effect. Not interesting at all. It left me not warm, but cold, right? Which means I felt uninterested, right? Uninterested. I can't spell. It's the in that's difficult. Uninterested. That's what's confused me. I felt uninterested, right? Nice. It wasn't much to write home about. I love that expression. If something's just very normal, we can just say, well, it's nothing to write home about, right? I mean, you know, everybody talks about this painting being really famous, really important, but I felt it was nothing to write home about. Nothing that special, right? And here's another nice expression, right? I can't put my finger on it. The last one. I didn't like that painting. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. It means I can't explain why, basically. Equals I can't explain why. I can't put my finger on it. Or I really liked that painting. I don't know why. I just can't put my finger on it, right? I can't identify the reason. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. Nice idiomatic expression, because you're not literally putting your finger on it. You can't say why. Great. That's a nice comment. Thank you, Shamuka Pari. I'm bowled over by the way of your live session and the way of explaining the pictures. Great. Thank you very much. I'm bowled over by your practicing. Brilliant. This is a nice expression. It's jaw-dropping. Yeah, which is really nice. Which is also means impressive. Again, you're not literally dropping your jaw. Your jaw is the bottom part of your mouth. So jaw dropping is literally, but if it's impressive, it's jaw dropping. That's nice. Brilliant. Danielle, this is an interesting one, Danielle. That painting was as exciting as watching paint dry. Let me write that one down. We do say that, yeah? But paint without a, but absolutely. Can I just paste and copy that? Yeah, nice. Which means very boring, right? Very, very boring. So I'll put that one at the end. As exciting as watching paint dry. Thanks, Danielle. Daniel, that painting was as exciting as... It's quite difficult to say. Try saying it with me. As exciting as... As exciting as... And break it into chunks. That painting was as exciting as watching paint dry. Okay. Brilliant. It blew my mind. There's another one. Nice one. Thank you, Empower English. It blew my mind. Absolutely. Which again is, it's really, really good. So lots of idioms and expressions there to talk about feelings, right? Nice. I actually made, I just remembered, I made a video actually a while back about feelings and how to express feelings. You can go and find it. I'll leave the link later and you can go and watch that one as well. Okay, very, very nice. So, good. Idioms. We've done idioms. Let's move on from idioms. Bear with me. Come over here. What's after idioms? I think after idioms, it's not Kahoot. No. I've missed something out. What's missing? Something's missing. Let's find out what's missing. I think I know what's missing. This is missing. Okay, my friends, it's time. Sample answer time. I'm going to take just one or two questions on the topic of art, and I'll give you my answer. And then you can go back and listen again and pick out any useful language. Of course, this information as well, I will put later on the website, and you can go back and analyze and study the language. Brilliant. Kevin Bukerchi. Great. So, give you a minute. I'll have a drink from my artistic jar. Dun, 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 dun. Let's have a look. Questions. Do you think preserving art is important? Do you think the government should support artists? Do you like still life and landscapes? What is Minotaur art? No idea. Never heard of it. Which form of art do you prefer? That's a nice question. Yes. Which form of art do you prefer and why? Let's try that one from Francesca. It looks Italian, if I'm not mistaken. Great. Thank you for that question. Let me put it up. What form of art? Which form of art? Yeah, it's okay. Great. Thanks, Francesca. Let's put it over here. I'll just change my image size. What form of art do you prefer and why? I have to think. Well, it's a very interesting question. And I haven't thought much about it, to be honest. But if I look at some of the paintings in my house, I think I'm probably a fan of Impressionism. And, that's a style of painting that's not very realistic, but it has really nice, smooth colors and vivid colors. And, those kind of paintings just make me feel really relaxed and calm. And that's the kind of atmosphere I like to have in my bedroom or in the lounge where I have those paintings. Right, there you go. So, without too much detail, I mean, I do like Impressionism, but you don't need to talk about too much detail. I'm not speaking like an artist. Should government spend money on art or education? In education, what will be the future of art? What do you think about digital art? Well, that's really interesting. Okay, let's do this one. Because it's a very, very big field opening up. I mean, it's always been here, but it's becoming more and more popularized. Great. Whoops. Great. Niall, thank you very much. That's a very artistic avatar, by the way. Very nice. What do you think about digital art? I'm guessing this might be a part 3 question, actually, so I'll go into a bit more detail. Okay. It's interesting you should add that. Could I start again? It's interesting you should ask that, because just the other day I was listening to a podcast about digital art. There was a painting sold for something like $40 million, and it was digital art. And there's a lot of controversy around it, because some people think that digital art is worthless in a way, because you can just copy it and take copies and put them on your phone and put them on your computer. But when you think about it, I think it's the same with any kind of art. You can have copies on your wall of some of the most famous pieces of art. And actually, in contrast to that, the person on the podcast explained that digital art is far safer, and you can keep the authenticity of the art more secure than for a normal piece of art. So I think digital art has a very bright future. I think as our world moves online and technology plays a bigger role in our everyday lives, well, it'll be the same with art. I think a lot of our art will become digital. I think it's very engaging for children, and that's a positive thing to get them interested in art. So yes, I think we will see more and more digital art cropping up all over the place in the future. That's it. Part 3 question. Very, very nice and very interesting topic, right? It is true. I mean, I've heard a lot about digital art and the pros and the cons. There's no denying it is really beautiful. When you look at some of the art, if you're into that stuff, it's really nice. Okay, excellent. Very, very nice questions. Thank you very much for those. Because of the time, I'm going to move swiftly onto Kahoot to do a quick review of some of the language that we've seen today. And I hope you know that throughout today, you're picking up a lot more language and building up more and more confidence as we go along. We at the start, I talked about the fear that you have to be an art expert or speak like an artist. It's not true, right? You can just describe the painting, describe your feelings, talk about things experiences you've had. Today you've experienced an art exhibition. Go and look at some more. Go and look at some digital art. Have the experience and just talk about that. Take your fear, right? Take your fear and blow it away. Get your confidence to speak more and more on these topics. On that note, let's do Kahoot. Kahoot is a way for us to review some of the language we've seen today to make sure that you are staying awake, especially after that lovely video we watched where you could have been forgiven for falling asleep. I hope you didn't. That's the trouble, right? Sometimes when you relax and meditate, you just fall asleep. But the idea is to relax and stay alert. We're going to do this game where we have 4 questions. You have A, B, C, and D. You have to choose the right answer based on the language that we've looked at today. And to do it, you need to go to Kahoot, which is over here, right? Kahoot.it. Go to Kahoot.it and we're going to start playing this game. Let me share the website with you so you can see. It's a little bit slow, but we should be okay. Let me close this. We're going to play the classic. Oh, okay. So go to Kahoot.it or download the app. Put in the PIN, this one, 6300083. You get some nice music there. And choose a name. You have a nickname that you can use, and we will start the game. Okay, so it's Kahoot, KAHOOT.IT, and the PIN 6300083. Don't worry if you can't find it or you can't get in. You can still play the game by putting your answer in the comments. Oh, Beta Blonska, thank you for your comment. And also Mindset Knowledge Wisdom from Cambodia, thank you for your comment. Shakun, you're the prairie kitten. How nice. Dan is in. A lot of you are in. How many have we got in? I'm not sure. Can I make this a bit bigger? 114. I'll just give you a few seconds if any more of you want to join. Okie dokie. Neka, you're in. Good. Hina is the knowing hair. Great. Love from India. Akshaya. Love back to you from Spain. Okay, let's get in there. We've got no time to waste. We're going to go start playing straight away. The first question about art. I have baking cakes down to a fine blank. Oh no. That's the idiom I took off the list. Oh dear, this will be a test for you then. I have baking cakes down to a fine blank. Oh dear, that's the idiom I took off the list, so you might not know this. Well done, Jack. Well done, Shakun, Anna. Well done, all of you. I guess given the choices, it was fairly clear. If you have something down to a fine art, it means that you have mastered it. You can do it perfectly, right? I have baking cakes down to a fine art means I'm really good at baking cakes and I can do it perfectly. Well done, 76 of you. Well done indeed. So, Awesome Tiger at the top, whoever you are, nice. Question number 2. This is a blank. Look at the picture. Oh, you have to look at the picture. This is a what? You need to look at the picture, and it's made of marble. It's a woman lying down, made of stone, I think, stone or marble. What is it? Well done, guys. Brilliant. 107. It's a sculpture. Yes, it's not a self-portrait. That would be a painting, but this one is just a sculpture. Nice. Maybe that was so easy. Well done, all of you. There's been a big change. Swift Camel, appropriately named, has quickly come up into first place. And there is also a Speedy Yeti coming into third place. Let's move on. Next question. This picture is a... What is it? If you can see the picture, what is it? Maffy, are you watching my English lesson whilst you're at work? Don't get into trouble. Well done, Mandeep. Well done, Jack and Dalip. Excellent. Wow, these are some of the best results we've ever had. It is a portrait, right? It's the face and the shoulders, the head and shoulders, like the shampoo. That is a portrait. So, the excited horse has gone from second to first place. Well done. All the other speedy ones, you better speed up if you want to get in first place. Here we go. Last question. This exhibition isn't much to blank home about, meaning it's not interesting. This exhibition isn't much to blank home about. Well done, Lorena and Chinello. Well done. Godzilla, nice. Well done, Hiral. Oh, now this one was a bit more challenging. It isn't much to write home about. Yeah, I can see why you say tell, but this is an idiomatic expression. So it's a bit of a metaphor, actually. It isn't much to write home about, means it's not very interesting, right? Well done. Excellent. Some nice results. Let's see who's on top of the podium. Legend squid. Speedy, not speedy enough. Oh, excited horse. Well done. You got up there to the top and you moved there and you stayed there. Well done. Whoever it is, congratulations for staying awake and learning lots of vocabulary here on today's session. So that brings us to the end of today. I hope today that you've learned a lot of new language. I hope you've broadened your vision of what you can talk about, right? You can talk about any kind of art. It could be your children's paintings, an exhibition at their school. It could be street art and graffiti. It could be a virtual reality tour that you took today with us. It could be so many things. And you don't need very technical language. You can just talk about your feelings. You can use some idioms. You can describe what's in the painting. And remember, right, when we talked about the Guernica at the beginning, often the best answers are when you say, well, I don't know who the painter is, nor when it was painted, and I don't know what it represents, but it gives me a feeling of warmth and excitement, right? That's the really nice kind of answer. So blow your fear away, get your confidence, and go out there and really nail the IELTS speaking test, whatever topic comes up. Great. Thank you for joining me. Do go and check out the website, just to let you know. It's Keith Speaking Academy. You can go and get all of the notes from today's lesson on the website, either later tonight or if not tomorrow. Sometimes it takes me time to do it. So at the latest tomorrow, you can go and collect the notes from the website and see lots of other resources there that can help you with your IELTS speaking. If you're on YouTube, of course you are, please remember to subscribe, turn on notifications to find out about other videos coming your way. I have a video coming out on Saturday, which is all about some amazing phrasal verbs that will impress your examiner. So look out for that on Saturday. In the meantime, stay artistic, stay safe, look after yourselves, and be confident. If you've got the test, I know some of you said they've got the test. Best of luck. I hope it goes really, really well. All right, that's it for today. Thank you. Take care, and I will see you next time. All the best now. Bye-bye.